Welcome everyone to the latest update of Positive Continent News. I'm the host Alima. This is the latest news update. The first story is coming out of Burkina Faso. To God be the glory. They will be the first country on the continent, at least from what I know, that will be their justice system, particularly the court members, will be eradicating the eyesore of the wigs that they would be wearing, kind of following or mimicking the colonial, in this particular case, power of France. This is something that many countries that were colonized by France and England, possibly Portugal as well, they would do. And I know they are colonized, as many of the countries on the continent, but it was an eyesore. I remember watching Nigerian movies in the early 2000s thinking, what is this mess on their head? It's such an eyesore. So they're going to be changing into locally made clothes. So that's good because they're like investing in their country. One country down, several to go. But at least it's a start. So thank God they're getting rid of these horrendous wigs. All right, Village, I want you to watch this next video and we will conclude our findings after the video and discuss what was discussed.
When elected president in March, Bassirou Diomaye Faye promised to restore Senegal's sovereignty. As part of that, Faye told France 2 on Thursday that France will have to close its military bases in Senegal.
As French people, could you imagine seeing us in your country with tanks or military vehicles, with Senegalese soldiers in Senegalese uniforms? That's what history has been like. France has enslaved, colonized, and remained.
The announcement comes just days after Special Envoy to Africa Jean-Marie Bockel submitted a report on the reconfiguration of France's military presence on the continent. France planned to reduce its military presence in Africa, but not eliminate it, with soldiers in Senegal, the Ivory Coast, Gabon, and Chad. Nonetheless, Faye said he is not seeking to break all ties with France. Faye also welcomed Macron's overture regarding the recognition of the killing of Senegalese riflemen by French soldiers 8 decades ago.
Today I received a letter from President Macron in which he acknowledges that it was indeed a massacre. This step of acknowledging the massacre should open the door to perfect collaboration in revealing the whole truth.
In 1944, Senegalese riflemen who had fought to liberate France in World War II mutinied over poor conditions and lack of payment. French soldiers opened fire, killing dozens. A commemoration ceremony is scheduled for Sunday in Senegal. Macron has apologized for being unable to attend due to a scheduling conflict.
So basically what you've just watched is a good sense of where Senegal stands politically and in every way with their colonizer France. This episode has unofficially become a Sahel episode since the last story was about Burkina Faso, which throughout the Sahel region, they really want to eradicate the stronghold that their colonial power of France has had on their countries. So President Faye of Senegal is a younger president, and as you can see, the future of the continent overall is putting younger people in high offices, and also people who didn't grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth, people who might have been placed there by the colonial powers at the beginning of the 20th century to be their puppets. So we're just seeing a new dawn and a new day. This massacre happened in 1944, where about 300 to 400 soldiers were killed, but the French history is writing it off as about 30 or 40 people. So more of the truth is coming out. I find it interesting how the French president Macron had this conflict in his scheduling that he could not make the commemorative ceremony for this. So basically this president is basically letting them know that we're pulling the strings as Senegal with France. We can keep working with you, but we are in charge. So for the Senegalese people watching, if you have any more background information, please comment down below. Would love to hear your perspective of what's happening. So our brother Emily Samsoi Fofana is at it again. He is a photographer of a beautiful spread for Days Middle East, showcasing West African youth, that rural West African youth, with a high fashion lens. So I love how these images capture the essence of like Sahel region, West Africa, having the animals in the background, the rawness, but then having the high fashion editorial edge. I find it quite creative. So I definitely wanted to showcase this since we've showed Brother Fofana's fashion before. Would love to hear, and see more from him. And I will attach all the necessary links and images for you to be able to view for your pleasure. Okay, Village, this is the end of these updates for the week, positive updates coming out of the continent. I am the host, Alima. Thank you for viewing Positive Continent News. Feel encouraged to like, share, and subscribe the content. See you all soon.